Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on the Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Good morning, sunshine. Happy Monday. So sorry I'm late. I was starving today, starving. I don't even know why. I got up, I started working on my Love is Blind videos, which, by the way, I do want to know if y'all got to watch Love is Blind over the weekend. I did put out one kind of deep dive character analysis video, and it's on one of the characters named Dave. And I'm working on 2 right now. And so I guess I was just so deep into it that when I looked up, it was time to walk the dog. And then I was like, okay, I don't have too much time. I only have 20 minutes. Do I eat or do I start filming? I said, I'll start filming. I don't want food in my teeth. But then the closer and closer we inched to go time, the hungrier and hungrier I got. And I said, I am not going to have you grumbling on air. Let's go get some food. So I ran out to go grab a little bit of something to go eat. By the way, this place I go to, it's the second time I've gone there. I don't trust their hygiene practices, so I don't think I'm going to go back. The food's delicious, but the hygiene, questionable. Carmel, nice to see you here. Good morning. Good morning to you too, Jen, Boss Lady. Oh, Boss Lady, are you sneaking off again? Oh, it's a snow day this time around. Don't you love a good snow day? Yes. Hello, hello. Theo, Stephanie, Brittany, JJ, Ronnie, Houston, Rose, Gwen, Tron, Melissa. Now, who is that? I have no idea. Hang on, you guys. Oh my God. I'm telling you, this is not my day. Hang on, you guys. One quick second. Oh, Lord. Okay, you know what? We're just going to ignore it because I'm not expecting anybody. When you're not expecting anybody, you don't answer the door, do you? Especially as a young lady of a particular age. I sure as hell do not, okay? So now that that is over, I wanted to go back to the Friday episode of The Morning Report. Remember how y'all sent me a Valentine's gift of Super Chats, and I said, I'm going to go buy myself a nice perfume with it? Here it is. I went to the Arab perfume store and I picked up this, which is called Dreams Don't Die. And it is one of their kind of versions of, it's a play on Kilian's Love Don't Be Shy, which is the famous perfume that Rihanna loves to wear. So here's a photo from the perfume shop. I think you guys probably can recognize some of the cult faves in the Arab perfume world, Alhambra, there's Latafas, there's all sorts of things there. And this one is from Volare. And I actually decided to go ahead and order Chow online as well. God, you know what? Give me 1 second, you guys. I don't know what's happening. Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on the Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Okay, you guys, so sorry about that. All right, so remember how I told you guys that I was going to be popping over in order to get this one. Well, I did end up locking it down and it was so good. There was another one, it was called Chow by Riff, I want to say, and that was another amazing dupe as well. And so I had to go ahead and order it online. So thank you so much to all of you guys who were there for my Valentine's show. So again, what did you guys get up to for Valentine's Day? Did you get to binge all of Love is Blind? Are you all caught up? Don't forget, I do have that like one analysis out now, and I've got about 2 or 3 coming out within the next 24 hours. So stay tuned for that as well, okay? And then, of course, we've also got to talk about the SNL 50 show that went down yesterday. And I was kind of curious what you guys thought about it. The biggest headline from the show, of course, is the fact that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively were in attendance. I think a lot of people kind of expected them to kind of just like cower and disappear from the public eye with all of the scandal that they're currently embroiled in. But no, they showed up front and center, and Ryan actually was even a part of one of the bits. And I thought that was kind of like funny for him, you know, like to have a little bit of a moment there of levity in their life. And I thought it was a great strategy as well, because you do have to continue staying visible, right? And humor is a really good way to stay visible. I know a lot of people are kind of like, well, this situation isn't all that funny. And I do agree it's not a funny situation. However, he was not making light at Blake's sexual harassment claims against Justin Baldoni. He was just making fun of himself, actually, right? Because the hosts, Amy Poehler and Tina Fey, they call on him from the crowd, say, Ryan's here. Ryan gets up. He says, yeah. And they go, how are you doing, Ryan? He says, oh, I'm doing great. Why? What have you heard? And so that was it, essentially, right? So people, and you know, I feel like sometimes people overly read into certain things. Like, for example, Blake was there next to him, right? And then she had this look of like, you know, when he said like, oh, like, what have you heard? And people online, I'm telling you, they've been going on Reddit particularly saying, wow, she looked so like embarrassed, blindsided. I'm like, do you guys really think that this was off the cuff? You really think that you really doubt that? Like, I cannot. Obviously, this was a part of this of the sketch, right? He was supposed to act oblivious, make light of the scandal surrounding his name right now. And Blake was supposed to act like she was blindsided. She's an actress, you guys. It was acting, okay? Theo, yes, Theo says, do you see that they appeared? Yes, I absolutely did. I have to be honest with you guys, though. I never really cared for Saturday Night Live, so I didn't really go ahead and like watch it. I've always been a Mad TV girl, and I've never really like got the hype with Saturday Night Live, but I am happy that, you know, it went on. It would look like a very, very star-studded event as well. So let me go ahead and pull up the picture really quickly, because some of you guys have some really, really good comments here that I want to get to. But first I want to show off the star-studded crowd. So you've got Cher and her boy toy. You've got Steven Spielberg, you've got Bad Bunny, Anna Taylor-Joy, and like plenty of Will Ferrell's right there in the front as well, and just so many other people. Scarlett Johansson was there, all sorts of things. You know, I do have a question for y'all in the chat or in the comment section if you're watching the playback, which is how fascinating how karma works. Life comes at you fast, right? Because take this, for example. Scarlett Johansson, the actress, is married to Colin Jost, who is a long-running host of Saturday Night Live, right? Or actor on Saturday Night Live. She used to be married to Ryan Reynolds, and word on the curb is that Ryan Reynolds cheated on her with Blake Lively, right? And so now here they are crossing paths at her husband's place of work, poking fun at the humiliation of her ex-husband and his alleged mistress. I'm telling y'all, life just always comes at you fast. Like, it is insane the way things kind of like turn out in the end sometimes, right? So Kambule really, you know, accurately points out that although they are laughing here and they are part of the bit, Ryan did look tired and stressed. And I agree, you know, the eyes cannot hide pain. If you are in pain, it shows in your eyes. And so I truly do see that in him. And I'm not surprised. Listen, $400 million is on the line. Their public reputations are taking a massive beating as well. And on top of that, they are paying massive not actors. I was reading Ramster's comment, massive lawyers insane amounts of money to save them, right, from this $400 million judgment. Y'all, it's like Ramster says, actors act. Blake was in on the gag. And Stephanie is a fellow Mad TV fan. So is Tadisha, right? Wasn't it like so good? Oh God, I used to live off of that. You could have injected that into my veins. Hey Shem, SNL is just okay. Depends on the celebrity guest. I agree. I don't know why, but I just don't like care for the humor. It's never really made me laugh like that, you know? And Houston says, this looks like karma, right? Your man cheats on you and he pops back up years later, many years later, like over a decade later with the mistress. And now they're being humiliated at your husband's place of work where he is the golden boy. It's crazy, right? Theo says, Hollywood is weird like that. Everybody dates everybody at some point. Ain't that the truth? Sorry, not sorry, says Boss Lady. And that's huge coming from a Canadian. We love to say sorry. And Mad TV was indeed life. It was too damn good. And Shemjam raises a good point, which is that Justin Baldoni was the only one who got dropped from the agency. And that, you know, I think that's a big reason because a lot of people are going, well, why is he suing for so much? Why is he being so dramatic? Guys, he was tarred and feathered. Everybody canceled him when that op-ed came out. So if even a sliver of these allegations are untrue, I would be going full throttle as well. Now, before we get into the next story, I did bookmark some of you guys' comments about how you spent, I think all the comments I saw anyway, about how you spent your Valentine's Day. And I'm so excited to see them because, you know, when I'm doing these streams, sometimes I can like catch glimpses of your comments, but I won't be able to like really profoundly read them. So sometimes I need to bookmark them, go to the side, and then read them. Okay. So first of all, shout out to Lori Allen, who is a new channel member. We did just put out an exclusive photo for the channel members. Well, actually, it's not exclusive actually, because it just came out here now, but it was there over the weekend. It was the perfume shop thing. And there was a video. We were reading chapter 3 of Caitlin and Tyler's book. And y'all, Caitlin and Tyler from Teen Mom, they have been put through the ringer. Okay, they were talking about how Kate got snatched up by the throat by one of her mom's ex-boyfriends when he was high on crack and he body slammed her to the floor. They talked about this like older lady in her 40s in their neighborhood, you know, pushing them to do like, you know, opiates with her doing coke, with all sorts of crazy things. They've been through it all. And we discuss it in chapter 3 of their book for my channel members. Jen says that for Valentine's Day, her husband rescued from my week back at home. Best Valentine's Day ever. And I love that, Jen. You know what? Sometimes when you go back to visit, you know, your parents or whatever, you go, wow, like, how did I like live with them for all these years? Like, even a weekend can sometimes be too much. I'm sorry, y'all, but it's the truth in some cases. It's not that they're terrible or something, but it's just like you feel so like, I don't know. It just feels so crazy to be back, you know? Brittany says, I had a cozy stay day/night with my fiance and kids, movies, food, ice cream. It was a great Valentine's Day. I love that. I didn't know you were engaged, Brittany. I'm spelling the fiance like Beyonce, Feyonce. Accent you. Congratulations to you. And can I ask you, girl, because I love ice cream so much, and I don't know why, but especially when it's cold, what ice cream flavor did you get? Was it cookies and cream? Was it butterscotch? Was it Oreo? Was it Scores, Mars? Let us know. Gwen says, glad you're covering Love is Blind. I can't bring myself to actually watch it. Listen, the first 6 episodes are so painfully boring. I still cannot believe that we have been stuck in the pods for a whopping 6 episodes. It never used to happen like this. I think by episode 4, typically 4, maybe 5 max, if we were pushing it, we were onto the honeymoons, you know? It's been dragging on. It really, really has. Ramster got a cold for Valentine's Day. I'm so sorry, Ramster. That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, it's the worst to get sick on holidays. Ronnie says, my husband and I celebrated early the day before. Congratulations. What did you guys get up to? Good for you guys. I got some flowers. I got some chocolate. I got a nice dinner. And then, of course, you guys got me a beautiful perfume, and the second perfume is coming in the mail. I'll show it off to you guys on Wednesday, okay? This is my favorite ice cream flavor is vanilla. Really? is there like a particular brand of vanilla? Because I will give it to you that there are some ice cream houses that have like the old school where you could sense that it was churned. And it's the ice creams that come in the little like white packets and they come with a wooden spoon. The vanilla from there, bomb. So if it's something like that, like artisanal vanilla, I get it. Listen, I won't judge. I give you a side eye, but I take it back, okay? Shamjam went to a friend's cocktail pop-up with her husband. There was a power outage at first, but the candles made for the romantic ambiance. Eventually, power was restored. So romantic. That is super sweet, and I love that for you, Shamjam. Wow. Blue Bunny soft serve. I'm going to have to bookmark that to look that up later. Tadisha's with me on the cookies and cream. Ben and Jerry's cookie dough for creme brulee. And Malen says Italian pistachios gelato. You know what, Malen, when you said Italian gelato, it just brought me back to being in Italy or being in Nice because, you know, Italy's just next door and having some good bomb.com gelatos. I cannot wait for summer, you guys. Now, are y'all ready for our next story? We've got to get into Gypsy Rose. As y'all know, I covered season 1 of her show on my channel when it came out. It was a really, really, really compelling series. And it kind of left off making us feel as though it was just like a little kind of limited edition series of sorts. But now, over the weekend, Lifetime announced that they were coming out with season 2 of Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup, and I could not be any more excited. I know she's a scandalous person. I know she's a controversial person, but I also know that I watched the hell out of Life After Lockup. I find her deeply fascinated, and I'm really, really, really excited to see how this love triangle between she, Ryan, and Ken is going to play out. We already know she leaves Ryan for Ken, gets pregnant before the divorce. Ken spirals like crazy on TikTok, like he was giving Stan from the Eminem song Stan, you know, like, so to just see that in television version, quote, in real time is going to be insane. I can't. I'm so excited. Listen, even if you don't like Gypsy Rose, a lot of people who dislike Gypsy Rose tune in, right? I think that might even be half of the viewership. There's just something so fascinating about her case, about her. And you already know, right, from the recaps that I would do if you watch them, that I did not think she was in any way, shape, or form ready or fit to have a child at this point in her life, right? She had just gotten out of prison. It had only been months. You could tell she was still like a child in the head. She talks, you know, her dynamic with her husband creeped me out because she likes to talk like a child. And I was like, now who's attracted to children? That is so weird. Why do you talk like that? And why is he, you know, like, so I'm really curious to see this person who I perceive as dealing with the most extreme form of arrested development I have ever seen. I'm really looking forward to seeing how she goes as a mom, you guys. I know she said she didn't want to put her kid on social media, but she never technically said that she didn't want her to put her kid on reality TV. And here's the thing about Gypsy Rose. It's going to be impossible for her to get a regular job, y'all. Right? Almost impossible anyway. So I think that she knows that. And so she's going to give all that she can to television, right? And because she was in prison for so long, and this is something that we're missing in reality television lately, right? Is that so many people who get onto reality TV these days, they know the game. So they're playing it up. They're acting like a character or whatever. But Gypsy Rose was locked away for years, right? And before that, she was a prisoner to her mother. So she didn't really, and reality TV wasn't a thing back then, like it is now, right? So she hasn't had the time to catch up and like be on, so to speak. And so I think that makes for her as a new, exciting, like authentic, truly, truly authentic reality television character. And I am buckled in for it. Aquila says, I'm nosy, so I'm ready for the behind the scenes, right? Like, get in with me, nosy crew. I love it. Let's go, y'all. Gypsy Rose is is true irritainment. You know what? You might have to trademark that, Ramster, because I think that's actually really funny. And I think a lot of people can get into using that because it is true that sometimes we watch things that are not like, all that interesting or all that smart. And we know it's trashy. So there's trash TV. Why not irritainment? Like, let's go for it. And speaking of irritainment, you know what else I'm going to be watching? And it premieres next week? Alec Baldwin and Cucumber Baldwin's reality show. That too is going to be prime television. Is she still going to be faking her Spanish accent? Does she actually speak to these children in Spanish? Like, I'm so excited to see that. What is Alec Baldwin famous for? His insane temper. What is he like with her and the children on a day-to-day basis? Questions that need answers, y'all. Ramser says, who doesn't love a dose of irritainment every now and then, or every month, week, or daily? There you go. Slowly accepting that you love it. Love it. Kiara says, was she really a prisoner of her mother, though? I would say so, to be honest with you. It seems like she was at least overly sheltered by her mom, and that her mom really wanted her to preserve this kind of fragile baby image. So to me, in that respect, she was. But I do know that a lot of people take issue with that or would argue against that for sure. Theo says, I know what she went through was horrific, but she creeps me out. You know what? And I get it. And I feel the same way. It's just so weird to me, the way that she just speaks like a baby. It's like, wow, she's in her 30s and she's so green. You know what I mean? And it's wild. So it feels like typically for other people who've been able to live life, right? You're rediscovering the world through your child. But her, it's kind of like she's going to be discovering it for the first time ever through her child. She only just went to the beach, apparently, for the first time in season 1. What else hasn't she done? Has she ever encountered a broken McDonald's ice cream machine? Has she been to the bouncy castle? Has she done anything, right? Allie, good morning, sunshine. It is so nice to see you here. You guys, there are so many damn questions I have, so stay tuned. I will be recapping season 2 of Gypsy Rose, Life After Lockup. I will be recapping Meet the Baldwins on TLC as well. We are going to be getting all of our fixes. So Gypsy Rose's show, season 2, comes out on March 10th. Okay, you guys, 9/8 Central on Lifetime. I do have an affiliate link in the description box of this video that you guys can use to sign up for a free Philo subscription if you want to watch along with me. And it's Meet the Baldwins is also going to be available on Philo as well. So y'all, the hookup is in the description box of this video. Let's go watch these train wrecks together, shall we? Next up, speaking of train wrecks, why don't we get into the Jay-Z of it all, right? Were you guys surprised when you found out that his charges, the Jane Doe case, got dismissed? I'm not. I always said that it just was not adding up. We were trying to give grace, but some of the plot holes were a little bit too big to be just innocent, misrememberments, if that's a word, right? It seemed kind of weird and forced from the beginning. And now it turns out, now that we've got this case dismissed, that might have been the name of the game. Someone tried to, or potentially, tried to grift off of the seriousness of the P. Diddy scandal by filing a false lawsuit with the 1-800 lawyer, Tony Buzzbee. And it appears as though Tony Buzzbee, so excited to boost his profile from the Diddy scandal, did not do his due diligence in vetting his client before taking her on and filing that lawsuit against Jay-Z. That lawsuit was so catastrophic for Jay-Z's image. So many people were rejoicing, right? Because there's been kind of a witch hunt ever since the Diddy of it all was announced, right? Who's next? Who are the victims? Who are the other celebrities? All sorts of things, right? Especially as lawsuits come out, which I understand, right? The grand indictment, they talked about celebrity 1, celebrity 2, blah, blah, blah. So we already know one of the witnesses is Cassie, but they have also alluded to incidents with J-Lo, et cetera, right? So it is natural curiosity to wonder who the other celebrities in the indictment are, right? But the fact that someone decided to go ahead make up a story, implicate another celebrity who is Jay-Z in it, and a lawyer took on that case without properly vetting it is really disturbing. I hate the circus that this case has become. I really, truly hope that these bogus lawsuits do not cause for the case to be disrupted or disturbed. I know that it's a different, court of law, right? There's civil law and there's criminal law, and that Diddy's being tried in both. But I just hate what this is doing, right? Because this is starting to plant a lot of doubt for a lot of people who want to believe that he's completely innocent, right? Because this is like the second or third lawsuit that has now been dismissed as illegitimate. And so when you've got more and more and more lawsuits involving Diddy, particularly being dismissed as illegitimate, what are people going to start thinking? That everybody is making everything up. And I do not like that. I really, really, truly don't. And it starts to call the validity and like the trustworthiness of the grand jury witnesses into question as well. And that is the last thing that we want or need, right? For his part, Jay-Z is going to be suing this lawyer, which is surprising to me because I could have sworn there was a morning report that we did about 1 month ago, about 2 weeks to a month ago. Do y'all remember this? When we talked about how Jay-Z dropped a complaint that he had filed against Tony Buzzbee. And I said, that is really weird. Why would he do that? Is he in trouble or something? Are they trying to work out a deal? And the word on the street had been that there was going to be some bad news coming out for Jay-Z. So now to find out that no, it's great news for Jay-Z. And although he dropped the thing that he had filed initially, which I believe was for Tony's kind of like professionalism to be called into question and everything like that, he's still suing him personally for the damage that he caused, right? I hated how much people were celebrating the idea that this could have happened to a minor. And I hate the fact that people were trying to bring Beyonce into this. There's something about Beyonce, and it's like this with so many famous women. If you watch the Martha Stewart documentary, you saw it happen to her. If you are alive right now, which I hope you are, in the chat box or in the replay, my playback posse, but you see it all the time with famous women, like where they will just be hated and ripped to shreds, right? For seemingly no reason. Right? We saw that with, or maybe being too perfect or being too beautiful, too successful, too hot, too everything, right? You don't really see this level of vitriol directed towards men. And the fact that some people are so vitriolic about Beyonce, who has never done anything to anybody, that they were taking this potential tragedy as an opportunity to drag her, right, was insane. And I wonder how they feel now that it failed. Anyway, let's get into Jay-Z's lawsuit against Tony Buzzbee, okay? So People Magazine is reporting, on this. And so the lawsuit was initially filed in October of 2024. We did talk about this in, this is about the Jane Doe, right? So she filed this lawsuit in October of 2024. She claimed that Diddy and Jay-Z did something to her at the MTV Video Music Awards. And now Jay-Z is now filing his own lawsuit as of February 10th, where he's claiming that Tony Buzzbee intentionally inflicted emotional distress by strategically filing that lawsuit just before his daughter Blue Ivy's Mufasa the Lion King movie premiere. He argued that the timing forced him to choose between supporting his daughter or avoiding negative media attention. And it was a huge deal when he walked the red carpet. People said, wow, how could you walk the red carpet for a children's movie and you're being accused of having done something horrific, unspeakable to a child? It was huge, but he wanted to be there for his daughter. This was going to be her first major red carpet project debut. And so he chose, because he had always maintained his innocence, to go ahead and walk that carpet anyway, right? But there was still just this energy in the air. Even at the Grammys, there was this energy in the air. He couldn't even go on stage with B or at all. Meanwhile, the last year's Grammy, he's the one who said, listen, Academy, the Recording Academy, you better make the right moves, right choices moving forward. We're sick and tired of you awarding the same mediocre artists, right? Some of y'all don't deserve to be in the category. And it was true. Like, sometimes these awards are ridiculous who they go to, right? And now this year, Beyonce groundbreakingly wins Best Country Album and Album of the Year, and he never once goes up, but their daughter goes up. He missed out on these massive moments because of Tony Buzzbee and because of this Jane Doe. So I see why he is continuing on with this lawsuit. And he also says that the lawsuit led to a $20 million loss in contracts and caused him significant mental anguish. Quote, I felt that Mr. Buzzbee was placing a gun to my head, that I either bow to his demands or endure personal and financial ruin. It really, really sucks that people take advantage. There are always going to be these kinds of people, you guys, even here in Paris. Do you all remember the terrorist attacks here in Paris in November of 2015, I want to say? What happened? All sorts of people were victimized, right? People passed away. People were disfigured, all sorts of things. People were mentally traumatized. And then here come the damn rats out of the sewers to come and pretend that they too were affected by this, because they're not well in the head, right? So it feels like this is another case of that. Not just this Jane Doe lawsuit, but like some of these other lawsuits that have also met a similar fate as well, that have fallen apart under scrutiny. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and read some of you guys' comments. Sorry, I went off on a big tangent there, but now I'm ready to catch up and see what some of you guys had to say about the situation, okay? Houston says, very odd. How does the father just not recall picking up his daughter up from a 5-hour drive? Exactly. And his daughter was supposed to be 13 at the time. Come on now. That would be a major moment you would never forget. Zoe thinks he settled out of court. I don't know. I don't think so personally. I think that lawsuit was bogus from the very beginning. It never passed the sniff test. Buxby just ruined it for other victims to come forward. Listen, a lot of grifters do not care. You know, shame be damned, right? They will still come on over and file their lawsuits. Tanisha says, I feel like Jane Doe's story fell apart when she said her dad drove 5 hours from Rochester to New York City, but he couldn't recall it. Exactly. You guys, a mess. But I'm seeing that some of you guys still believe that it was settled. And I feel like that is the problem with these sorts of things. When they bring up these kinds of lawsuits, and they're shaky or whatever, it permanently damages a person's reputation, you know? And then there are people who will accept that the lawsuit was bogus, but they go, okay, well, the fact that someone would even file this lawsuit means that he had to have done something. So let's just wait for, you know what I mean? I don't know. This has been really, really, really ugly to see, to be honest. And I hate that this might have some implications for the criminal case. Ali says, people rejoicing about it are wild to me, because essentially you're hoping that he SA'd somebody, which is gross. I 1000% agree. Milan says he didn't settle. Jay-Z's suing Buxby for $100 million. Exactly. If they settled, then Jay-Z would not be suing, because all Buzzbee would have to do me over filing a bogus lawsuit. If you settled, it wouldn't make sense. Boss Lady says, Grace, it won't be dismissed because Diddy has other criminal charges. Thank God. But I really hope that there aren't other, grifters who have found their way into the witness list or whatever to mess this up. This is our one and only chance to get the diddler. And I need it to go off without a hitch. Hey, Jaleesa, nice to see you. Good morning. Ronnie says, I hope it doesn't cause an issue for Diddy's case. Exactly. Same way. Hey, AJ, nice to see you. Theo, clap if you have a pulse. AJ says, Will Smith smacked Chris and Jada was blamed. Exactly. The woman always gets blamed. And in that vein, AJ, thank you so much for bringing that up, because not only was Jada Pinkett Smith blamed for Will Smith choosing as a grown man to slap Chris Rock, but Chris Rock went and did like a clapback special filmed in Jada's hometown, not Will Smith's hometown, in Jada's. It's always the woman that is the target of the public's ire, and I do not understand. And people were like, yeah, you showed her. Get out of here. Beverly says, before you cover Gypsy, please do a lot of research. She lies constantly. For example, there's a picture of her at the beach. I've grown to strongly dislike her because she uses people. And I do remember Beverly towards the end when I was recapping her her season 1 of the show, that we talked about, like, her, like, it looks like she really wants to get rid of the husband, get with her mistress, and she's coming up with all these excuses and blowing things out of proportion just to get rid of him, instead of just saying, hey, I don't love you anymore, I love him. So I do agree. Shem Jem says, dang, listen, Shem, the morning report's been going on since December, girl. Like, we've been at this since December, and it's crazy. Listen, it's like we always say, there's no time, doesn't, like, it's not a real concept anymore. Ever since the pandemic, everything just blurs together, right? And I'm with you, April. It's really, really sad, the hate that women get. Now, y'all, how many of you watched the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part 1? Because I really want to talk about it with you guys. So many things happened. I was left with so many questions, and I want to know how y'all felt about it. So first, on a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate the episode? 1 being absolutely not, 10 being hell yeah, they did that. Okay. I personally, because I had a couple of jaw-dropping moments, right? I had to pop it back in the socket. I would rate it at 8 or so. And can I ask y'all, how would you rate the overall season in general as well? Shout out to Baltimore. Hey, Meg. Because a lot of people say that they didn't care for the season, but I liked it. I felt like we needed a pivot season, and they did a fantastic job of providing that. Stacey was a breath of fresh air. We got a new Dizzy girl at the table, Jazzy, and her little side chick turned fiance story. I love Kiarna. And who else was new? We got Jacqueline, which, I want a refund on, but overall, it was really, really great. We needed this. And now we're going to be going, and Gizelle and Wendy, they're now on a new leaf and everything like that. I felt like we needed this, what this season gave. The levity, the softness, dropping, their swords and everything like that. And now, moving on, we're going to be powering up again the way that RHOP is known to. So please rate the season for me, and also rate part 1 of the reunion. We've got a word from some of our sponsors, and afterwards, I'm going to come back and talk about it with you. I got lots and lots and lots to bring up. Okay, you guys, stay tuned. And don't forget to like the stream if you're enjoying the morning report. The morning report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Are you looking for the perfect skincare products for women over 30? Look no further than Rothia. Rothia is a skincare brand born from love and made for parents. Their flagship product, the Resilience Cream, delivers clinically proven age prevention benefits such as average 14% wrinkle reduction after 4 weeks of use. Click the link below and receive 30% off your first purchase today. So I am loving reading you guys' ratings in the comments. Aquila gives it a 7. Tadisha says that it was a 10, which is super duper generous. Wow, a 10 out of 10. That's amazing, Tadisha. And I thought I was being generous with an 8, but you know what? They deserve it. It was a really good, and it was surprising because the season overall, it felt kind of like chill, you know what I mean? But to have that kind of like hook spot already was crazy. It makes me wonder what's still to come for parts 2 and 3, especially as far as Mia Thornton is concerned. And I agree. Stacey reminds me of Kenya in every single way. The fake relationship, the beauty, just everything, just everything about them, the vibes, like they both carry themselves in such a beautiful, like kind of elegant, like way that I love as well. So yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. And I think their noses are very similar to me as well. They're both brown skin girls as well. Like really, really cool. They both have daughters. Tadisha, why are you only giving the season a 4.5 out of 5? And how crazy is it that you can go from rating the season of 4.5 to the reunion a 10? That means that they really stepped it up for the reunion. And I love that for them. And yes, Milan, Walter, the first hired boyfriend. Shout out to him. Ali's only giving the reunion a 5. Aquila's only giving the season a 4.5 as well. I feel like so delusional because I was giving the season like a 7 and the reunion an 8, y'all. East Awesome. Hey, RHOP is a solid 7.5 because of the levity provided by Stacey. We needed her so much. Yes, we needed Giselle's rehabilitation and the removal of Robin. Period. Drop that mic, talk that talk. You have it on lock. That was 100% correct, in my opinion. Anyway, Stephanie says she really is another. It's so crazy how we all see the same thing in Stacey, right? That she is just like Kenya. And it's, I'm kind of scared for what that means. I hope that she doesn't turn into a full-blown villain the way that Kenya did, because at first, like, Kenya's like little things that she would do, like the jabs or this or that, they were cute, they were funny, they were key, but then she went really, really off the deep end. And the thing that I still to this day hate that Kenya ever did was the way that she treated Rudy, that girl from the Cosby Show. Was it the Cosby Show? Miss Kim something. So Kim, she has this long acting resume, right? And for some reason, Kenya just hated her when she made it onto the show. And she made it her mission to bully this girl out of the show in a way that was just so ugly. And the worst that I had seen of it was when she went and she dragged that woman's chair out from under her. I said, wow, what an ugly heart you have. Why would you do that? Why would you, as a 50-year-old woman, do that to another 50-year-old woman? And what has Kim Fields ever done to anybody to deserve that? Kenya sometimes, she could be magic. She really can. But sometimes she just takes things in such an ugly direction that, it's hard to come back from. And I really hope that Stacey doesn't go down that path. Kambule says that she thinks they will bring back Robin. No. How could you do this to me? No, please, Bravo, do not bring back Robin. We do not need her. She is so boring. And Gizelle being able to fly without Robin and not having that mean girl crutch. However, I will say that Ashley seems in part 1 of the reunion, she seems so desperate to fill in that Beavis and Butthead mean sidekick henchman thing. She was so mean for no reason too. Both of those girls, just when I thought Gizelle turned over a new leaf and she stopped bullying people, she goes back to her roots. J.I. says Stacey didn't have a sperm donor named Mark Daly, and thank God she didn't, because Mark Daly has been giving Kenya hell ever since. And thank you, you guys. Her name was not Kenya Fields, Kim Fields. She seemed like a lovely enough girl. I don't know why Kenya went in that direction with her. Now let's get into this reunion special, shall we? So we get into Karen's home, which, by the way, I didn't notice until I put up this picture. It's too geometric. All of these squares and rectangles everywhere, the molding on the walls, then the cage on the fireplace, the shield. Then you've got the credenzas and stuff, the square lamps, the square chair, the square pull out, whatever that is, just squares everywhere, damn it. And then the top row is all circles. Whew. Who is her interior designer? I need to talk to them for a minute. Anyhow, she's up there. She decides not to join and do the reunion in person. So she sends in a video of her crying and playing the victim over her DUI verdict and denying that she's an alcoholic, yet announcing that she's going to rehab. Okay, girl. Whatever that means. Why can she never just own up to it? In fact, I think that the situation would be a lot more sympathetic if she could admit that she's an alcoholic. Because to me, okay, if you have alcoholism, which is a literal disease and illness, we can say it's your illness that caused you to do this, right? But if you're sitting here in your fur hat telling me that you have no real excuse for doing this because you are not an alcoholic, you're just a selfish person, how am I supposed to feel bad for you, right? I didn't get that play at all. So she did that. And all the girls seemed really sympathetic to it. But did the girls see this? No, the girls saw another version. The girls saw her when they redid her face. Do you see the difference between her faces? Between this and this, I think she did some sort of a treatment. Her face looked so tight in that second video that she filmed, but I digress. We're going to get into that a little bit later. So all of the girls, they come out on stage, and I've got to say, this is the best that I have ever seen all of them look collectively. Typically, the Real Housewives of Potomac look tragic at the reunions. They look so damn cheap and just a mess all the time, but they really crushed it. And it makes me especially sad that Karen wasn't there, because Karen is typically the best dressed, right? Especially come reunion time. So I hate that she wasn't there to also kind of show off her fashions. And there's something that really irritated me about like the girls' reunion dresses. Again, I thought they were just so fabulously dressed, right? But then you start seeing these like squeezed up boobs everywhere. You're like, Wendy, please, what is going on? Your boob is begging for mercy. It might pop. Didn't you just get this installed? And then you've got Kiarna somewhere. Let me go ahead and pull up Kiarna. Like, literally, what is this? How do you like, it looks like she got into the dress and then later decided to add the boobs as an afterthought from the top and shove them in. It's too small. The dress is too small. It looks a mess. What is this? I don't know why the girls do this. Like, okay, look, Ashley pushed her boobs up, but for her, they're tamed. Okay. Gizelle's, hers look amazing there. Let's actually run down the line while we're here. Stacey's looked great as well. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Mia's looked tasteful too. Right? Like there's a way to have them out here. You don't need to squeeze them into tops and dresses that are way too damn small. Like I was so distracted the entire time looking at these racks. Oh my God, right? Lord. Anyway, you guys, let's continue. So I do lastly about the outfits. I do have to say this, a little bit scary that Miss Gizelle Can't Dress Bryant actually turned out to be the best dressed. She has never been best dressed a day in her life in any room she stepped in, but tonight she actually was. And I really, really loved this look. I do wish though that she would retire this copper hair color, but baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. So the girls all talk about Karen missing in action before we cut to a video of her. And she goes down the line of all the people that she wants to thank for their love and support over the time. Again, she clearly has some facial treatments going in here. I think she was thinking, hey, I'm about to go to jail. I want to look good. Let's go ahead and get some touch-ups done, right? So she goes down the list and thanks everybody with the exception of Wendy. And Wendy has been the one person who has been like there for her biggest advocate this entire season, with the exception of Kiarna, right? And this is when I actually had to turn in my stand card, you guys. And let me take this photo down and look you in the eyes. And Grace, don't cry. Don't cry, girl. I have to look you in the eyes and tell you guys, I'm turning in my La Dame stand card. When she purposely did that to exclude Wendy, who supported her more than anybody, the girl went and thanked Gizelle, who threw shade at her with like the cocktail party, right? She said, oh, I'm going to name a mocktail after you because you shouldn't be drinking type stuff, right? She was joking about Karen running into trees. She was doing all sorts of things against Karen behind her back on the show. And Karen still thanks her. Wendy never, and oh my God, Tanisha, you're the same way. Wendy never said a single word like her, not a single ounce of shade. She always said her priority was Karen. Everything was about Karen to her. And for Karen to go in purpose, she could have just said, I thank you all, so it could be ambiguous, but she did this on purpose. It was cruel. It was calculated. And it made me just dislike her now. I can't say I hate her. I might go back, in disguise and recollect my La Dame stand card. I might rise again, but for now I'm seated because I can't, you guys. I can't. The way she treated Wendy was unacceptable, you guys. You guys are laughing about the thing, but doesn't it look like that? Let me go ahead and put the picture back up and let me visualize it for you guys. Okay, I'm going to get up here for full effect. It's Kiarna's dress, and I love Kiarna. I think she's beautiful. When it's standing, it looks great, but when it's seated, the boobs are up to her chin, right? So it looks like she really pulled up the dress, and then the boobs are up here. She had her assistants, one per hand behind her. She pulls up the dress, and then she goes, boob me, and then they put it in. They say, okay, There you go. There you go. So now that you have the visual of what I've been envisioning in my head, let me put up the picture. And please, if you think I'm wrong, go ahead and tell me. Let me go ahead and find that picture. Doesn't it look like that, you guys? That's the visual I get every time I see that girl. There's no way. There's no way. What happened there, you guys? Anyway, my jaw, by the way, was on the floor when Gizelle and Ashley decided to go ahead and start attacking Stacy, y'all. It turns out because Andy is asking all the girls if they got to enjoy or try out Happy Eddie. Wendy's husband, Eddie, he's got a cannabis company. Apparently it's really successful. I'm hearing a lot of people online like loving it and whatnot. They say it's really potent. And he asked the girls if they've tried it. Kiana's tried it. And then Stacy says she loves it, especially the edibles. And then Gizelle takes this opportunity to pounce on Stacy. She says, Stacy, aren't you about to come out with your own like line of like Happy Eddie type thing? Like, aren't you gonna, steal that business idea? And then here comes her sidekick, Ashley. She's like, yeah, Stacy. That was the first time my jaw dropped. Okay. I said, what? Because to me, it's scary, right? If they are telling the truth, which I do believe they are telling the truth. I don't think they made this up. But the idea that Stacy could be sitting there beside Wendy, hyping up her husband's business, knowing that she's about to try and compete with her husband's business, that is so like, and those of you who are saying that, like, she's got that Kenya energy, like, that is so crazy to me. It really, and, this is why I love reality TV, especially because, and, I watched this movie on Netflix and I recommend it to you guys, Leave the World Behind with Mahershala Ali. And there was, who's that girl? Julia Roberts. So good. And one quote that they said in the movie, it's so incredible. It says that, entertainment is an escape, but also a mirror, right? To me, this is like a mirror to like people that exist in society that we've all encountered in our lives, right? People who could smile in your face, cheer you on, but secretly they want to compete with you and they want to undermine you. And I'm like, no, not my sweet Stacy. Oh, my Shayla, this can't be. Are you kidding me? That scared me. That truly, truly scared me. Because I'm going through this right now, like when you're kind of like reevaluating, you kind of just have some time to yourself and you're reevaluating relationships you have in your life, like friendships or this or that. And you're like, is this person really my friend? Or is this, that kind of just jumped out to me because it was at this moment where I'm currently like, evaluating. And I was like, wow, reality TV really, truly can be a mirror, you guys. So use it, truly, truly use it to evaluate certain aspects of your own life. Kel says, Gizelle and Ashley are always upset at gorgeous Black women. They are so lame. I agree. Where is this coming from? Because on the show, we saw Gizelle joke around about not liking Stacy, but it wasn't a real dislike. It's just that Stacy's huggy, cuddly, touchy-feely, and Gizelle is not, right? It's golden retriever, black cat jokes. But she came at her with a level of vitriol that I did not understand, And I agree, Theo. I agree. But you know what? I actually kind of feel like, are shrooms legal for you guys? Like over there in the DMV? Because maybe it might be better for her to get into shrooms. You know what I mean? Like if you can't do like the cannabis because your friend's husband's doing it, why don't you do shrooms if you want to do something to get people a little high, right? Allie says she's a shady lady. And I'm afraid that that's the case. And I feel like maybe that's why Gizelle is ready to go after her. But at the same time, Gizelle's pattern and MO has always been to go after beautiful new women who might be living better than she is. And we all know that Stacy married well. So she doesn't really need the little check, as Monique would say, the same way that Gizelle needs it, right? And so I feel like, is this just typical Gizelle bitterness, meanness, or is she just seeing through Stacy, right? I don't know. What do you guys think? Is Stacy fake? J.I. says Gizelle lies all the time, though. She just lied about being with Jamal for a storyline. Oh, that's true. And she did lie about the Chris, or exaggerate the Chris thing. And there were some things that she exaggerated and lied about this season and laughed about it, putting some stank on it, as she says. Oh, damn it. But I feel like this didn't come out of nowhere. I don't know. I feel like they're telling the truth because Stacy was floored. But even if they were telling the truth, I don't think that Stacy would still continue on with that plan after what just happened, right? Tanisha says Stacy was lying about not starting the line, but Gizelle's attack was so random and unprovoked, right? It was so like out of left field. We left with them being on good terms. Stacy even just threw Karen under the bus thinking that this is going to continue to help her move closer in her friendships with the rest of the girls, right? Wow. East Awesome. Stacy and Kenya are from Detroit with the same bone structure. I want a DNA test. Oh, me too. Gizelle is jealous that Stacy became a fan favorite, says J.I. I agree. I think that's it. Maybe that's why. Like, it just feels so disjointed. Maybe she wants to get back. But here's the thing, Gizelle, you were winning over people who have always hated you, like myself, right? I've always felt she was just a mean, nasty, bitter, just ugh, of a woman. But this season, she has been so good. So why revert back to that? Monica, not legal in Cali, but very accessible, to be honest. So like, if that's the case, like maybe, like, I don't know. I feel like Stacy probably should have gone to Wendy if she did have this idea and pitch it. Like, hey, can I have, like, you know what? Can Happy Eddie produce one joint or one this or that and call it Spacey Stacy and we split the profits, right? Something like that would have been cool. Collaborate, right? Or at least be honest if you want to compete. But why do they always do that? Like in New York, they all wanted to do booze because Bethany had success with booze. Now here, because Happy Eddie is doing well, they all want to do cannabis. Come on now. Come on. Don't love it. Now, then there was another attack launched by Gizelle towards Stacy. Gizelle actually made my jaw drop twice. She usually sucks at reunions, but I think she came to slay this in yesterday's reunion, y'all, because next she goes after Stacy. And again, it was so mean that my jaw dropped open. Like, why would you say that, And again, her sidekick, Ashley, was there to be mean with her. And it's like, Ashley, you had to prostitute yourself out to like deviant old men. Like, where's this pompous attitude coming from, And Gizelle, we've seen the inside of all of your houses. Stop it. Like, why are you guys so arrogant, with your shake and go like prom wig? I don't get it. It's so weird. So then like, Wendy tells Stacy at this point, she says, hey, Wendy, she goes, hey, Stacy, Karen told me to watch out for you because you're smart, like, educated and all sorts of things. And then here comes mean girl Gizelle talk about, oh, is she smart? Is she educated? Girl, why would you say that? Why would you, like, that is so mean in a room full of women to sit there and point one out and go and doubt her intelligence and doubt her education. She has a bachelor's degree just like you have a bachelor's degree. I'm sorry, but you would think that Gizelle had an advanced degree or something. The way she's always touting around this bachelor's degree that she got back, you know what I mean? Like, you have a bachelor's degree, girl. Congratulations. So does everybody else here on the couch. Candace had an MBA. Wendy's got 4 degrees. The rest of the girls have bachelor's degrees except Mia. So what is this put down? I don't get it. Like, why does she get off on this sort of thing? Like, oh, and the fact that she's raising daughters, like, it's always something that's just so sad to me, like, she's just such a bad example, in my opinion, just such a like, oh God, I would hate for, anyone else to turn out this way. Like, I don't think we need more of these sorts of attitudes in the world. Like, thankfully her kids seem nice. And like, they call her out on how mean she is, but like, she is truly, truly mean and vile down to the bone. And then for Ashley in the side, the whole thing, even the Spacey Stacy, she just kept on throwing those little jabs in the side. Yeah, Spacey Stacy, right. And then like, is she educated? Then you got Ashley, is she educated? Girl, like, what is that? Right? I don't get it. Kel says that Gizelle and Ashley are miserable women who are jealous. I think so too. And you know what? Like, we already know why Giselle's miserable, right? She got with that pastor. He cheated on her with everybody in the congregation, had kids on her and everything like that as well. And then why is Ashley miserable and jealous? Well, she got with that deviant old man. She sold herself to him. And what does she get out of it? She doesn't even get spousal support. You only got child support. And, back to you, Ashley, like, oh, is she educated? Girl, the fact that you were educated, right? You're college educated. And instead of going out, getting a job, starting a career, working up the corporate ladder, what do? You find the creepiest, pervious man you can find in town. You go ahead, you marry him. You let him thought you out with all the women in the city until you finally get your retirement funds out of him, right? And what do you get? You don't even get spousal support. So you did all of that for nothing. You didn't even collect Hermes bags. You didn't get Van Cleef jewelry. You got nothing. You got nothing. You got nothing materially speaking, out of that. So you could have wound up in the same place on your own if you just used your damn education. So the fact that she could sit up there and look down on on anybody when she chose to live her life this way, right? And remember when people were speaking out about your creepy man allegedly grabbing their booties and stuff, right? And it was caught on camera and whatnot. You were out here victim blaming everybody. And you think you can sit up there and look down on people. Oh, they pissed me off, y'all. Those girls pissed me off. Neither of them have anything worth bragging about in life. I'm sorry, but come on now. Gizelle's a great mom, but that's it. In every other aspect, she's horrible. Oh, it is unbearable how horrible she is. And I was liking her. I was like, yes, she turned over a new leaf. I knew it was fake, but come on. Mia got an MFA. MF's touching her A from when she worked the pool. I love that. And it's true. Listen, she got her MFA, y'all. Gizelle has to attack someone. She has no storyline, but talking about those daughters and showing little episodes of them. Exactly. Gizelle, stand down, girl. Stand down. You don't want it with these girls. You do not want it. And I'm glad too, Betty, that she is not a part of the cast. Come on. And Stacey, you know what? You're right. Stacey, she's such a gorgeous girl. She's a 10 out of 10. But what is with these shake and go synthetic wigs? You know what they say, hard wig, soft life. And the girls are always proving it to be true. And I know her ex probably thought that was her real hair too. She was married to a German man. He probably thought that was real. But she could do so much better. But you know what I got to say? It's game over for everybody. Once Stacey masters the wig game, which I'm sure she will. Season 1, the girls tend to look rough. And there are girls who have looked way rougher than her. And then they glow up. I'm sorry, but Wendy's first season, it was kind of rough for her, right? But look at her now. She has flourished. She is a swan. And I think that Stacey, as soon as she levels up that wig game, she is going to crush it. Like she truly, truly is absolutely beautiful. And guys, I'm getting really nervous. I hope she does not turn out to be another Kenya. I like Kenya overall, but she has been so mean, you guys. She has. And we can't have three Gizelles. We've already got Ashley so far up her behind. We don't need another one. Speaking of, was anyone else kind of surprised to see Ashley get second chair? Because all this time I thought that she was going to be kind of like having her exit this season, but she got second chair, so I don't know. It looks like we're going to be keeping her for another season, right? And exactly, Allie, you got played by Golem. Like I would just woof, if that happened to me. How did she not get spousal support? If she's supposed to be the one giving Stacey divorce advice, get the heck out of here. You know nothing. Hi, Kahara. Good morning. I'm so glad you finished it. Come join the chat. Like we've got so much roasting to do, you guys. By the way, if you're enjoying this episode of the Morning Report, don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up so that YouTube knows that you enjoy my content. And exactly, East Awesome, why did she do it? The man got caught cheating on you, and somehow he got you to sign away your rights to his money. There's nothing up there. She uses pretty words. She's got a great vocabulary, but there's nothing up there. Exactly. Why did she sign it? And Stephanie is exactly right that Wendy learned very quickly. Her first season was rough. Everything was rough, but she is absolutely stunning these days. And I said the same thing too, J.I. You know what though, Lily? I got to say, her wig, like the texture of the hair looked good, but it's true. We could see the hairline. In fact, 9 out of 10, the hair looked bad for everybody. You could see the line. You could see the lace for her. You could also see it for Kiarna as well. And you could see it on Jazzy. So at first I thought Jazzy had her own hair and then added a ponytail, but she added like a half frontal and it was kind of jarring to me. Then her own hair on the bottom, then more extension. Well, the extension is from the thing. I didn't care for Mia's hair either. And then let me go look. We know that Ashley had that synthetic prom hair as well. Gizelle, the hair looked good, but the color, it's not her color, but she won't let go of it for whatever reason. So the hair, it left a lot to be desired in general. God bless these girls. I really hope that they get it 100% right. This is the most beautiful, in my opinion, cast of all of the housewives in general. So when they get their hair together, Ricky, when I find you, it's over for everybody else. Okay. Now, oh, there's something else that was kind of driving me nuts. I'm going to try and pull it up. I got to put down your comment, Illy. Can we talk about the way that Wendy sits in a dress, y'all? I've got an example of it. She's wearing these beautiful dresses every reunion. Then she sits like this. I don't understand why she never learned how to sit in a dress. Every time they pan to her, she is sitting like this. And I'm like, sis, you are not wearing pants. Please, please sit accordingly. Anyway, back to Jazzy. I know some of y'all forgot her, but she did come back to say her 2 little sentences. Shout out to Mia. And fumble around about whether or not she was a mistress, a side chick turned fiance. So it turns out she's going to be marrying that football man. And someone wrote in a question that was so lethal. They said, Jazzy, it sounds like you're just a side chick upgraded to fiance. Hey, Mia, you're a mistress. What are you thinking? Your professional opinion? Oh, they went in. This reunion was so good. I do have a question for you guys. Who else thinks that it was not even like a viewer who wrote in that question? Because I actually think that it was low-key Andy. He wrote that down on his hand and decided to ask it and, pawn it off as somebody else's question. Please, Andy, we know your shade when we see it. So Theo says that Ashley did not deserve second chair. And Kahara said she only got it by default. Let me go ahead and put up that couch, okay? And you know what? I think that we're all right. She didn't deserve it. And she kind of only got it by default because there wasn't too much drama this year. You know what I mean? So like on her side, who was she competing against? Kiarna. Of course, she was going to get it over Kiarna, right? And then on the other side, you've got Mia in first, Wendy in second, and then you've got Stacy in third. So you know what I actually think? Maybe they should have put Stacy on the Gizelle and Ashley couch and put Stacy in second, maybe. Guys, let me know if I'm wrong in the chat or in the comment section if you're watching the playback. But I actually think maybe Stacy should have been here on this side and she should have been given second chair, then Kiarna third, and then on the other side where Stacy currently is seated, Wendy stays where she's at, and then Ashley sits beside her. Is that what you guys think would have been like a better kind of like layout? Let me know. I'm really curious about that. Okay, you guys. And Creme Brulee says that Michael made Ashley sign a post-up. Exactly. After he got caught cheating, he said, I cheated on you. Now you've got to let me go away with more of my money. Crazy. Stacey won't be like Kenya. Kenya started off as a villain against Phaedra in her first season of RHOA. Well, she just went heel. She finished off as a villain. So I'm scared that she's going to continue this arc, especially with the girls coming after her. Stacey irritated me when she decided not to go for child support, but went for alimony. Exactly. Child support is literally for the child. I think her reasoning was, okay, I know he's going to take care of my child for sure. He pays for her schooling, her health, her this, her that. So if he pays me for my things and all of those, like I'm going to use some of my alimony, correct me if I'm wrong, to go towards like her housing cost or something like that. But I think he should pay all of her schooling and stuff. And on top of that, give child support for the child, that way Stacey has even more money coming in that she could put away for the child. I don't love that either, you guys. I'm really looking forward to them talking about it in part 2 as well. Now, speaking of the bitter girly pops, why don't we go talk about G&A? We're trying to get to the bottom of what this company is, what they sell, and it's giving very much September, spring, summer, right? So just to remind you guys, because it gets lost in the sauce when you watch RHOP because it's very budget friendly, right? The Real Housewives are supposed to feature, profile, follow rich, upscale women. So the fact that these two could not even continue to invest in their print-on-demand products, and they're supposed to be the rich, like exclusive, influential women of the DMV is kind of like alarming to me, you guys. Sutton has a whole boutique out in Beverly Hills, right? For fun. Kyle had it for fun too, that they invested in, right? Until they couldn't anymore. And these girls, they were doing an online brand. They couldn't even invest in like 100 products. With their housewife salaries, the fact that they're supposedly rich, right? Gizelle was just bragging on Watch What Happened Live that Ashley was so rich from Michael. Well, why couldn't she put some money in the thing? Actually, she was sounding like she didn't get much of anything from that man and that she didn't have a budget for like a proper website. Like they didn't even invest in a proper website. It was a basic WordPress or Shopify template that you get for like free, you guys. Like, what is going on here? Why do we never get rich people like this on RHOP? The one time we get a truly rich girl, they run her off, you guys, and I can't. And please don't come and say Candace. Listen, Candace's mom was rich, not Candace. Okay? Candace's mom was bullying her in exchange for giving her money. Candace had to put up with her for money. So no, like, why, you guys? Why? Anyway, I think they should just go ahead and shut it down. They couldn't figure out if it's a nonprofit or if it's an event planning business. Like, what is a wellness company that doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, what is it? The identity is so lost, you guys. Just shut it down. Again, it's giving September, spring, summer. It's over, you guys. You tried. You had a good run. You know what I don't understand is why Ashley, who has been so like open about her like obsession with fitness, with yoga particularly, wasn't she certified as a yoga teacher? Why doesn't she open up or even like, you know, start doing pop-ups? Do you guys remember Raven from Love is Blind? She got on as a Pilates influencer. She does these online things. Why doesn't Ashley do something like that, right? Do online yoga classes. I subscribe to these things, right? I follow, what's her name? She's in Australia. She's an Australian girl, but she lives in Thailand. Move with Nicole, right? Like, and she's super duper popular. You put out video content for free. Then you also have like, you know, paid content and different things like that. Why doesn't Ashley do something like that? You know, or like Raven from Love is Blind. Raven, she does that online. She has her own fitness app. And on top of that, she collaborates with brands like Aloe, Lululemon, etc., to do pop-ups in various places of Pilates classes. Why isn't Ashley doing something like that? G&A just is not in line with her brand. And I need her to do something that like properly aligns with like, you know, her brand, right? Neither of them give fashion. Let's be for real, okay? Now, we're going to close out this morning report. I'm sorry to be going over. Is Hamlet here? Because I know like Hamlet is usually letting me know by now that she's got to get back to work. So shout out to you, Hamlet. But we got to talk about Mia's birthday party too. What did y'all think about how that turns out? What did y'all think about that? That ordeal was peak Mia, wasn't it? And maybe that's it, Miss T. She said, you know what? I'm not getting that. I'm about to be rich like Eddie. Honestly, that was just so damn shady. I can't believe she did that, y'all. I really, really cannot. I believe it. Again, I believe it. I know that Gizelle lies sometimes, but I don't think she's lying about this. She got the name and everything, y'all. I think it's true. But now I don't think it's going to come to fruition, y'all, unless Stacey wants to go full villain, okay? So let's get into that birthday party, y'all, okay? Oh, so Mia invites Jazzy and she invites Stacey to celebrate her birthday with her in Miami. And so we see the text messages flash across the screen and everything like that. And then we find out that the two girls did go to Miami and that actually, in fact, Mia stood them up. They traveled all the way to Miami, you guys, just to be stood up by the birthday girl, that they've spent their own money to go ahead and celebrate. And the fact that Mia never even bothered to call them or anything like that is crazy, right? And so Stacey, and Mia lies about it all. She's like, I didn't know they were coming. And so Stacey, she gets really pissed. She pulls out her phone. She shows the text messages of her confirming with Mia and Mia responding saying, okay, good. I'm so excited that you'll be there. And then all of a sudden Mia's like, I hired a POC. I said, now what the hell do people of color have to do with this? Like, you hired a what? You know, she's like, apparently it means point of contact. So now all of a sudden the point of contact knew that Stacey was coming, but not Mia. And then later they keep on questioning Mia because the story is not making any sense, you guys. But you know what, Ali? She could do mat Pilates. And I'm loving mat Pilates right now too. Oh, so good. So they know that the story doesn't make any sense. And they keep on like pushing and pushing. And so Mia admits that she did know that Stacey was coming. So how do you as a friend ask your friend to spend money to come celebrate your birthday with you? You know she's supposed to come. And you never even bother to call to see what happened, especially with all that's going on with planes lately, you guys. Would you not be concerned, like, hey, maybe something happened to her plane? Like this, you know, the planes, they've been acting up lately. Let me see. No, she never cared. Not even like after, like from that birthday shenanigan or debacle to today, Mia never called the girls. She only texted like, hey, sorry you didn't come. What? Like, but never actually full blown called. That was crazy, you guys. And then when she gets backed into a corner, especially when Wendy tells her, look, Mia, you didn't invite anybody else here. And let me go pan out so we could see why this made Mia cry, right? 2 reasons. So we pan out to the entire crew, right? And so Wendy points to everybody. She goes all around the circle. She goes, of all the people here, you were only on good terms with these 2. You invited those 2 to your birthday, and they both, being the good friends that they are, said yes to going over to a different state to celebrate your birthday, and you treated them like that? That is crazy. And so at this point, when she looks around and realizes, damn, I really have nobody here who likes me. I've only got like the side chick who barely made an appearance this season. She's probably not coming back for another season. And I've got Stacy, who isn't even a veteran, so she can't help me climb the ranks. Like, I'm screwed moving forward, right? So I think that that's the reason why she cried. And I think another reason why she cried was to kind of deflect, so that they would ease up on her. It was all selfishly motivated. She does not care about Stacy. She does not care about Jazzy. And I think it's because they're newer to the shows, right? A mess. Mia, she's, oof, wow. And she's like, I'm going through things. Everybody's going through things, Mia. Everybody. You're not special in that regard. L Power says, Mia's excuse of she's going through a lot is such a creative. Like Gizelle said, everyone is going through stuff every day. Mia's just a bad person. I agree. Girl, bye. Take your crocodile tears with you. We don't want it. Not today. I've got Candace in my head. We don't have it. If I flew anywhere for anyone and was flaked on, it would end the relationship. Yup. Even if it was my mother. There's no excuse. I've never heard of anyone doing some ish like that. I agree. Patty LaBelle actually said the same thing a little bit earlier. So I'm going to go back and shout her out for her comment on that. Hi, Luz. She doesn't consider her children's feelings, so I'm not surprised. She's a horrible friend. Yeah, you know what? And speaking of that, Luz, I think it might be some sort of like potential anti-social personality disorder. I really do, because like her, like she's just sitting there like, yeah, and what, So like, didn't she even literally say that? She's like, yeah, so I was late an hour to my party. So what's the problem? Girl, you couldn't even text these people that traveled for you that you were going to be an hour late. Like what? Like the whole thing is so crazy. I never reached out. Yeah. So what's the problem? Like there's something going on. I think that like just mentally, like there's some sort of disorder there, with Mia. So I really do hope that she gets help for it, because I think it's only going to continue to wreak havoc on her life if not. Semi DIY with Drea. Mia is such a bad liar because she isn't quick on her feet. Yup. And lies about stupid nonsense. Exactly. Then when she gets called out, it's just tee-hee. Yeah. Now what? Listen, I'm going to admit that worked on me the first season. I thought it was hilarious, but now it's like, oh no, girl, you got a real problem. You really, really do. And you know what, Tanisha, I agree. Mia was threatening to walk out after the end of this episode, part 1. We do see her in part 2, so she does ultimately end up filming. However, in the trailer for part 2, we see her walking off too, and we see people talking about how she exploited her children, right? So at this point, I think she's realizing that it's lights out for her. You know who she kind of reminds me of? Another person who might have a similar type of problem, Brynn Wheatfield from New York City, Housewives in New York City. I don't watch that. But I actually only exclusively watched the last episode because it was a huge scandal, right? And like her too. And the way she's always just standing there like this, whenever she does like these things, so like she'll say something so evil to you, or like it'll be a full-blown lie, and then she'll be like this. Like it's like Mia, now what? They just both have these like weird kind of like reactions to things that just do not add up. There's something like kind of like creepy about it all. Something is not clicking. Exactly. There is just something not clicking there. She's completely sane. Gordon is bipolar. Oh yeah, don't forget. You know what? And I hope that they bring that up as well. The way that she just used that at every single damn turn. It is indeed hard to keep up with the lies, a mess. You know what? I would like to see Brynn and Mia together on Housewives in Paradise. Do they still do that? Ultimate Girls Trip? When's the last time they put that out? I'm going to have to go and look that up. Anyway, you guys, it has been so great chatting with you for another morning report. Wow, 1 hour and 20 minutes. The time truly just flies by. Sorry to have gone over, but I was just having such a good time. There's so much to discuss when it came to the RHOP reunion, particularly. If you enjoyed this, please go ahead and give the video a thumbs up so YouTube knows that you had a great time and you want to see more. And don't forget, I host the morning report every single weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and all of the episodes for the week are already programmed on my channel. Just hit the live tab and the bell for each one that you want to be present for. Okay, you guys, see you for tomorrow's episode. Take good care of yourselves, and I'm so happy to see that you guys had a great time. I love you guys. Take care. And once again, thank you so much for my special Valentine's Day perfume. Go visit you guys. Ciao.